Everyone, back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with the aftermath. This is the show that we do when the dust has settled from the post-match instant reaction, which was very late on last night, to Newcastle United narrowly losing to the league champions 3-2 at St James's Park. A last-minute winner by a 16-year-old wonder kid who had to come off the bench to save it for Liverpool. So just unpacking my thoughts in a bit more clarity after you've slept and after you've thought about it. I'm still massively proud of what Newcastle United put into that game last night. Everything that was against them, the Alexander Isak backdrop, not having a main recognised striker leading the line, Anthony Gordon having to fill in there as a left winger shoehorned into position, more on him in a second. The red card from Anthony Gordon, there is more on Anthony Gordon. The red card from the player, going 1-0 down against the break, going 2-0 down after 20 seconds of the restart. Newcastle United dug in, they showed resilience, they showed strength of character, epitomised by the club captain Bruno Guimaraes, who was absolutely fucking outstanding last night. He dragged everyone along with him, raised the standards, raised the roof at St James's Park. He's a phenomenal footballer and an even better human being as well. He just gets it, he understands it, he's plugged into the club. He's already said if he thinks the club isn't going in the direction he wants to go, he'll go back home to Brazil. That's how much this project, this club means to Bruno Guimaraes. And I just wish some of his teammates shared that same level of commitment to the club, because if a certain individual had played last night and at Aston Villa, Newcastle would have 6 points on the board, in my opinion, without a shadow of a doubt. We created so many chances. Any good centre-forward in that lineup last night would have scored a goal or two. Be it Wissa, be it Strand Larsen, be it Sorloth. Any one of those three would have scored one or two last night. The amount of chances we created, Alanga was electric. He was fantastic under the lights at St James's Park. Everything we wanted him to be. Rapid, they couldn't deal with him. He's an absolute nightmare. I can't wait to see him torturing Champions League teams at St James's Park like that in a midweek game. He'd be absolutely brilliant. Sandro Tonali got injured, Julian got injured. That's the downside of this game, I feel. Jacob Ramsey, though, come on. What a bright spark he was. Energy, pace, dynamic running. Lewis Hall, come on, looked fantastic. Looked like he hadn't missed a beat. It was great to see Tino and Hall back as the full-backs. Tino looked amazing at left-back and just as good at right-back as well. So that's a positive to take from this game. But the biggest positive for me is that this club has quality. We have quality in this squad in every area of the pitch. One place we're lacking it is the most important place, and that is up front. We've got a world-class centre-forward who is refusing to play. There was a story before the game. The hierarchy had met with Alexander Isak's people. That has to be a step in the right direction for one way or another, whether it's to sanction the move away or to get him back on board to play. Now, whatever you think about Isak's actions over the summer, and I don't like them either, last night, certainly against Villa as well, but last night, more importantly, just showed we are missing a centre-forward, a good centre-forward. We've got a world-class centre-forward. He just seems to have given up wanting to play for the club. Can you get that flame reignited? Can you get him reintegrated in the squad? Do you need him? Yes, you do need him. Do you like the fact that he's behaved the way he has? No, you haven't liked that. Nobody's liked that. But there's two ways to look at this. As I said the other day, there's the emotional side, where you're pissed off at the way he's behaved and the disrespect he showed to the fans, to Eddie, to the players. But the logical side is that we've got a week left of this transfer window to go. We're not getting a centre-forward in very quickly, certainly not at the level of Alexander Isak's replacement. We're struggling for the Callum Wilson replacement. It'd be mad to sell him. It would be nuts to sell him. And I think the club has come to that conclusion. And I think that's why it's more likely Alexander Isak will stay at Newcastle when this window shuts. And if you can reintegrate him back into the squad and we get the Isak that we saw for 3/4 of the season last season, we're going to be in a good place. But you throw Johan Wissa into that side last night, or Strand Larsen, or Sorloth, which I think, 2 or 3 gettable targets. I think the Strand Larsen one's not going to happen. I think the club showed a sign of desperation even going for that player. And for me, I wouldn't even bother with that one. But Wissa or Sorloth could be done. You put them in against Leeds and we create the amount of chances we create in the last 2 games, we win the game at Leeds comfortably, in my opinion. I saw Leeds get opened up by Arsenal quite easily down at the Emirates, and Newcastle can do that to Leeds, there's no doubt. But we need a focal point. We need a centre-forward. And that was the most disappointing part about that game. Some weird comments after the game from Arne Slot saying he didn't see a game of football. I think that was poor from Arne Slot, disingenuous from a bloke who generally comes across quite well. His team were time wasting. His keeper Alisson took so long to take a goal kick. I thought I heard the milkman's bottles clink. That's how long he took to take fucking goal kicks. But because of the encroachment by a Newcastle player who got away with the 8-second rule. There was some horrendous tackles going in. Gravenberch's tackle arguably just as bad as Gordon's. It just was a bit slower. And that went, just with a single yellow card. Konate committed so many fouls, he could have been sent off 4 times and he didn't get sent off. So Hooper was poor as a referee, I felt, really poor. The Anthony Gordon red card, there is no defence in it, really. He runs it in with ridiculous pace. There's no reason to make that challenge. He tries to put it at the last minute, but in a VAR world, you're going to get a red card. And it's another silly mistake from Anthony Gordon. He's come out on Instagram, he's apologised straight away, and it's classy of him to do so. But he keeps making these mistakes. The mentality with Gordon's always a worry. He plays on that edge, and you love a player that plays on that edge. Wayne Rooney was like that. Twice the player Gordon's ever going to be. No offence, Gordon, but he is. But you play on that edge, but you can't lose your head. Certainly in a situation like that last night, he had Konate on toast before that. Gordon was excellent before that. He was everywhere. He was going to get us a goal in that game. There's no doubt it was coming, but the frustration boiled over and he made a stupid decision like he did against Brighton when he got himself suspended for the cup final. And we can't have players that do that. We really, really can't. He needs to learn from this, and I hope that he can, but I'm starting to doubt whether he can, because another red card like that isn't too far away. Injuries to Fabian Schär, his head injury. I thought Malik Chow started shaking when he come on, but it's bound to. That was a really, really high intense game, but he grew into the game. I thought he looked a bit better, a bit more comfortable. After that, some nice composure at the back, good in the air as well, strong. Dan Burn was imperious. So if Schär misses the Leeds game, I think Chow will come in. I think he'll do well. Lewis Hall, to me, looks like a start. Is not too far away from him. He was excellent when he come on. Give us that extra attacking dynamic. Jacob Ramsey, brilliant. Lewis Miley kept it simple, nothing too brave. Needs to be a little bit more courageous, I think. Find a ball through the lines. Have a shot from range, Louis. Just don't doubt your ability. You're a cracking young player. Have a go, man. That's what Louis just needs, that little bit of confidence just to have a go. No one's going to have a go at you if it doesn't come off, but at least try, and that's what he has to do for me. But it's a real blow with Sandro Tonali and Joe Linton's injuries that sound like they're long term. But for me, hopefully, Ramsey, Miley can come in with Bruno at the weekend, and that could be strong enough to get as a result in Leeds. But I wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle go back into the transfer market if Joe Linton's got a bad one or Tonali's got a bad one. Nick Pope was out for ages with dislocated shoulder. The likes of Conor Gallagher are available. Even Kobe Mainoo could be an option for Newcastle. But Conor Gallagher is one to keep an eye on. I think Eddie Howe may move for him to replace Joe Linton if he's out long term and bring him into the squad. And I think he's an excellent player that gives energy, that can score goals as well, put tackles in. Sam Gallagher's a really good player. He wants to play more football in World Cup year, so that could be a good one for Newcastle to bring in. But again, to summarise it, I'm immensely proud of the lads. We're just missing that one key ingredient. And if Big Yass and Jamie Rubin needed any further evidence of that, that was it last night. Go and pay 50, 55 million quid, get Visser done, get him in the team, get him in the middle, leading the line. He will score enough goals to win us the games for the chances that we're creating. And then get Isak's head right, get him sorted and get him back into the squad, because there's no point in selling him right now. We cannot replace him unless you do a swap deal or you do a deal for PSG's Gonzalo Ramos the last couple of days of the transfer window, which I can't see happening. Go and get Johan Visser in, get him into this side, get him leading the line. We'll win games. We need to. That's 1 point out of a possible 6, which Newcastle deserved and should have won had the centre forward been playing. But that's my thoughts in Aftermath, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Keep it evermore. Player ratings video on the way soon as well. Get involved with that. Let us know your player ratings. Thanks for watching. Have a belter, and we'll see you later.
Heroes celebrate. They have done it.